Sweet mother of Mixolydian meatloaf, it's time for another PlayisM Let's Play! Hello, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, everyone. I am PlayismBryan, and we are here to bring you the latest and greatest of our upcoming PlayStation 4 releases, Mitsurugi Kamui Hikae. Now, this is going to be coming out on February 16th. We're doing another simultaneous release for both North America and Europe, so if you've got your eye out for this game, this has been in Japan for a little while, but let's be honest, we want to make sure that it is all prim, proper, and fully translated for our English-speaking customers. Alright, it looks like Misa's getting bored with my explanation, so let's get right to it. Mitsurugi Kamui Hikae. Did I say that right? I did. Everything that you know and love about the game from the original PC version is here. Of course, there is a tutorial to run through if you're unfamiliar, if this is your first time, or if you just want to reacclimate yourself with the DualShock 4 controller, I want to say. There are all the costumes that will unlock. The first three, of course, from playing through the game, and the next two can be unlocked from some of the skill points. We'll get into a little bit more of that later. And, of course, for the options, sound and controller layout, we do have the sound turned down a bit because this is a very dynamic game. It is loud, it is proud, and it will absolutely shout over me given the chance. Please tell me the microphone's on. The microphone is on, and we are good to go. So, if you don't know the storyline, let's get right into it and take a look at the intro. 5 levels of difficulty. For the sake of convenience, we'll be putting it on normal. I hope that isn't too boring for some of you. But again, this is our talented and sword-wielding protagonist, Misa. Like all Japanese high school students, she is also part of a secret society of blade-wielding protectors. And she is currently on the hunt for the Demon Blade. Why wasn't the Demon Blade kept in some sort of lock and key guarded by people with guns, as you could do in today's day and age? No one's really certain. I think it's because it's a life-draining sword and pretty much does what it wants when it wants. That's right, the most feared artifact of the Mitsurugi world is a petulant child. Her former classmate Suzuka, who is inexplicably blonde, has apparently come into possession of the sword. Upon getting it, promptly slew a teacher who gave her too much homework and then developed red irises. That way, you can never accidentally mistake the other blonde people in this game for Suzuka. For those who have played the game, you're not going to see a lot of differences as far as the core mechanics go. Mitsurugi still has that great 60 frames per second 1080p presentation. Everything is incredibly fluid, but the graphics have been updated, so everything looks better. Everything pops just a little bit more. All of the player characters, all of the monsters, all of the bad guys are going to be looking just a bit better. So let's get right into it as we start off with our first wave of bad guys. If this is your first time seeing Mitsurugi, this is going to be a bit different than some of the other arena brawlers you've played. We are going to be doing all of our waves for this first stage on this first level. If you need to get away from anything, first off, make sure that you are rotating that camera constantly with your right stick, moving around with the left stick, and if you need to just kind of duck and roll away, that is going to be kadoom, L2. Duck, dash, roll, etc. It's fantastic. You move at the drop of a hat. Because if you dropped your hat, you want to move to go and pick it up. You jump with X. Boing, boing. And of course, to get right into the thick of things, your two main attacks are going to be square and triangle. Triangle is of course going to be putting good use to that sword. As you can see, Misa is absolutely not screwing around. She will get right in there and just slaughter everything. Now, the square button works a little bit differently than it did if you were playing with a controller on the PC. I personally feel that it's a lot more fluid and you can just get right in there and start doing kick flips all over the place. There we go. There we are. We're getting into our groove. Constantly readjust the camera. The AI does not care if you can see it or not. It will absolutely come down on you like a ton of well-suited bricks. Now you'll notice that after a few slashes, some of those enemies start glowing red. That means that they are wounded, they are bleeding, and that means they are more susceptible to damage. When you see that, as long as your sword is charged up enough, go ahead and hit R2 and do your awesome sheath attack to just drain them of their life force. In this case, I was lucky. All three of those guys were almost completely depleted, so go ahead and doing the R2, well, killed them outright. It feels weird, like, when I was beating up monsters in Crawler, I never thought of them as killing. I just thought of vanquishing them or defeating them, which I guess is kind of a very ideal, childish way to look at things. But here, I think with the blood spray, I'm just like, yeah, I murdered those guys. And it's like, oh god, what am I? Who am I? Is this really the kind of after-school activity that I want to be a part of? But you know what? Misa's getting college credit, and that's incredibly important. She's thinking about her future. She does 16 hours of Juku a night, and then when she's not doing that, she is protecting the world from ancient and arcane evils. So, I've only mentioned 3 of the buttons so far. X, of course, to jump, square to do our kickflip, and triangle to do some slashing attack. Of course, pressing triangle in sequence will go ahead and start a combination. What about the circle? Well, the circle is actually a great charge attack, which if you just sit there and wait, trying to charge normally, they will absolutely slaughter you. Watch this. See? Almost charged. Oh! But they were ready to move right in. So you gotta be quick on your feet if you know what it means to steal to earn your keep. I think I messed up that lyric, but I don't think too many regulators are listening in. If you want to go ahead and really have a full effect with that, hold on, let's clean house real quick. Delicious souls. If you want to go ahead and charge that up, especially when you have a big wave of monsters. Enemies? Goons? Hold the circle, and also you can press R1 to power charge. And then you can unleash the Aurora Borealis, a full-on light show of pure, clandestine, heaven-striking mayhem. There's actually a complete name for it. I actually think it's like... God, what is it? I think Celestial Bounty? I can't remember the names to save my life. But either way, it's really great if you can make time for it. It's a fantastic attack as long as the enemies will let you do it. So far, we've been doing pretty well with these black-suited goons? Black-suited thugs? Black-suited miscreants? But here comes the red team. Now, the red team, much like the red players in a certain other arena-type brawler that we've just brought out on the PlayStation 4, are significantly more aggressive than the initial ones you'll see. The guy that just came up behind me was actually in the middle of a really cool spin attack that thankfully I did not get hit by. Oh, and you'll see he does his lunges, he does his parries. He is out for blood. He is hungry like the wolf. He is looking for girls on film, and he knows that the sun always shines on TV. But you gotta make sure that even though you have to deal with them one at a time, because it's possible to fight them both at once, you still need to basically keep abreast of whoever you're not currently looking at, because if you don't, they will just come and stick that sword straight up your ass, and it will be the worst experience of your life. Always remember to use your R2 to help clean house. Once things get a little too bleedy and janky, that's going to be your fastest way to go ahead and just take out any enemies that aren't right near you. Be warned though, as I will show you. You see, one of them is bleeding, one of them is not. If I use my R2, I'll get him. The other guy, he could care less. I was really lucky that he just felt like circling around me instead of, you know, murdering me while I did my pose. That's also another reason I don't use the O attack, circle attack nearly as much, because if you decide to do it, sometimes Misa will decide, oh, that's enough of that, and you'll just do a single strike and then make a big elaborate show of putting your sword back in the sheath, which you can't always cancel out of, and that will give the enemies plenty of time to rush right up and smack you about the head and shoulders for a while. We're only doing 2 at a time right now, and that's because we are on normal mode. It's really interesting. The difficulties scale fantastically within the game, and if you do hard mode, it's exactly that. It's hard. I did normal because I am talking my head off while we're playing, just to kind of help make sure everyone's feeling engaged. And if I was on hard mode, the likelihood that I would get slaughtered is pretty high. But I think we're almost done with our waves of just red guys, so if you're getting bored, thank you for sticking it out this long. I promise you we're about to get into some tastier meats. How are you even still standing, brah? There we go. Wave 4. Okay, now we're mixing it up. We're getting black suits with red suits. What they lack in finesse, they can make up with sheer number, so I just gotta keep moving, otherwise I am possibly in for a world of hurt. Now you'll notice I am not taking any chances with this. Being able to charge up and do everything as quickly as possible. The R1 trigger with the circle attack means that you can go ahead and basically be a street sweeper a lot faster. Keep a finger on the roll at all times, because you never know when you'll be able to come out of attacks and try to roll away from what is inevitably going to be a counterattack barreling right down on you. And, you know, after you do circle attacks, you suddenly have lost the ability to do the R2 bloodletting. And, you know, if that was your plan for what you're going to do next, you got to make sure you have that plan B. Plan B, in my case, running away as fast as humanly possible. Also, jumping and kicking. I rely way more on the kickflip than I did ever on the PC version, but that's also because I think I played the PC version wrong. PC version was just all mash, 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 mash. You know, as opposed to this one where you can tell I'm picking and choosing each and every attack like a grandmaster of chess. Like the deep blue of Mitsurugi. If you guys don't get that reference, go watch Jeopardy! Alright. I think after this wave we'll be unlocking one more type of monster before we see the boss, so if you want to get a better feel for the full environment of Mitsurugi, you've hung in this long, we're almost there. Ah! One more. Okay. It's alright. It's alright. You know that a game is well put when you get into the groove and you don't even notice that you've done nearly 150 hit combo. And that's all hits. That's not picking up coins. That's not dodging. That is just me laying down pure, uncut, brutal justice without any backlash. Am I gonna get up to 200? Really hoping I get up to 200. There are a variety of other foes that you'll be facing in subsequent levels. Oh, there's my fun boy! Oh, I love that guy! Look at him, he's so big! He's so big! He thinks he's bad, so I stomp him for a while. Oh, you're bleeding. You're a robot who's bleeding. That is so embarrassing. Let's relieve you. Oh, yep, see? I got cocky, and then he hit me while I was trying to do the sheath attack. There we go. Woohoo! 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 Man, I just realized you could totally listen to the soundtrack from Kill Bill Volume 1 and just rock this game. I actually think that would be incredibly fitting. I like the music of Mitsurugi, don't get me wrong, but I really, really enjoy the soundtrack to Kill Bill Volume 1. Lonely Shepherd by Zamfir, that's like my go-to meditation tune. Yeah, I meditate sometimes, what of it? I like to go ahead, chill out, relax, experience the nirvana and etherealness of nothing, concentrate on my own personal being and what it means to be an entity, and then suck the life out of people with my magic sword. Just like the teachings of Buddha recommend. Oh lord. Ooh. I'd like to point out that I got smacked and I'm already back up to 150. If you're wondering if I'm a beast, I'm a beast. Now, for those of you who don't have a PlayStation 4, this Let's Play actually gives you a great idea of what it looks like on a PC with very high specs. Not even like super high. Anything that's going to be like, I think if you have a GTX 750 Ti or higher, you're going to get some of the best looking visuals. I would definitely recommend a minimum of 4 GB of RAM. You could probably make this work with a Duo, like a Core Duo 2, but I would recommend do yourself a favor and at least do it on an i3. But if you've got that kind of a rig, if you've got an i3, 4 gigs of RAM, and at least a gig of DDR5, you will get this level of fluidity in your game, and you just won't miss out on. You'll miss out on the great graphics. All right. Yes. The bosses actually spawn from the swords, if you can believe that. And this one will go ahead and he does 2 types of attacks. He does kind of a range slidey move, and then he is going to try and hit me with his sword in just a moment. There it is. And he is really good at that. I don't know how to dodge it without incurring his wrath. Okay. Maybe I'll just stand over here for a bit. Also, don't for a minute think that you can just go to town on this guy, because you gotta wait until you have earned the right to smack him around first. And he will let you know when he's right. Now, unfortunately, kids, I'm not as good at this game as I'd like to be, so he will probably find a way to fuck me up pretty badly. Did I just say the F word on a Let's Play? How tasteless. Bam! Alright. Swinging the sword. Off the chain. Oh, look at that. I am like a stealth sly ninja, which technically I am. 2, 3, 4. Get in on it. Get in on it. Run, run, run. Woof. There we go. This is actually doing... Whoop. Never stop to compliment yourself. It only ends in heartache. 2, 3, 4. Ooh, that actually worked out way better than I hoped. I managed to get him right into the red zone. I might actually do okay. I'm so close. He's about to, yep, get out of the way when he does that radius thing. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, he's a little more than halfway right now, but unfortunately I'm only at about 75%, and as you can see, that attack knocked me around a bit. He's getting right. Okay. To dodge those, you don't have to roll, but I just like to. It makes me feel like I'm actually doing something. Whoa. Hey, come on. That totally was not in range. Okay, let's get out of the way. He's getting ready to do another roundhouse. Come on. See what I'm talking about? I totally was not in range for that, and yet still they counted it. Wow, and I think I've realized something. Do not do the R2 attack on this guy. He does not like it, and he will just simply immediately pop back to life and smack you around. I am so close. I really want to get this guy. Primarily because I don't always. Even though I really like this level, I love this game, but I have barely beat the bosses because I like to just go in, load up the first stage, and smack around some bad guys for a while. Okay, if he hits me with another one of those, I'm done. What did I do? Oh wait, that actually didn't kill me. Oh, come on, get in there. Yeah! Alright, there it is. Whew. Okay, so that was almost a huge problem, but I managed to get it. So, upon clearing each level, and yes, that counts as one level, you go ahead and you have the option to upgrade. Now, everything has already been unlocked here on the PlayisM account, but it gives you an idea about what happens. You can go ahead and unlock new combinations of how you can interact in combat. So what you just saw there, that is ideally how well you'll be able to work through things after you've unlocked everything. I'm afraid I'm not able to just provide you guys with unlock codes right off the bat, but maximum health, maximum recovery, some counterattacks, extra zanshin, and of course being able to unlock 2 of those costumes. Now, just as a last note, I want to show you very quickly. Let's go back to the title. Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. I want to show you, this was normal. This is what Inferno is going to be like. Just a little peek behind the curtain real quick, because I know some of you are like, oh, normal. That's really boring and cheap. Alright, here's Inferno. First wave. Right out the gate, everything is here. We've got, I think, did I count 5 red suits? 5 red suits, a few black suits. I am powerful. I am super strong. That is the one part that I do like, is that Inferno one-hit kills. You're super ridiculously strong, but all you need to do is get hit once, and that's the end of it. So once you are like really up in Mitsurugi, if you are feeling super confident, please, by all means. I can't do it, and I don't know if anyone here at the office can. I don't know if any other PlayisM members have that ability. But so this has been our first look at Mitsurugi Kamui Hikae. If you people out there really enjoyed what you see, go ahead, shoot us an email, leave us a comment. You can tweet at us and ask to see the subsequent levels. You can even ask for somebody else to Let's Play it. If you're just tired of hearing my dulcet tones floating over each and every Japanese indie game we release, that's fine. Let me know. Instill a gag order. Or we can even get someone else in here to play it sometime. But this is going to be launching February 16th in North America and Europe, simultaneously on the PlayStation 4 for $11.99. It also is currently on Steam and on PlayisM if you want to go ahead and check that out on your rig instead of on your console. Everyone, thank you so much for sitting in with me on this very lengthy Let's Play. This has been PlayismBryan, reminding you that if your skirt is that short and your sword is that long, you're either a superhero or you're about to go to jail. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.